Hello friends, today we are starting Android application development using Xamarin Studio. So you have to download and install first if you follow this video tutorial, which is completely about Xamarin Studio environment. If you don't know how to download and install Xamarin Studio, you can have our previous video tutorial, which is how to download Xamarin Studio. You can watch that video tutorial to install and download Xamarin Studio on your PC. It will also tell you how to set up your SDK and how to create your Android virtual device on your PC. So in this video tutorial, we are going to cover the complete Xamarin Studio environment, that how you can create your project, how to import your project, and some introduction about Android SDK, and how to create your Android virtual device within your PC. So when you completely and successfully download and install Xamarin Studio, when you will launch first time Android Xamarin Studio on your PC, it will display this view by default. I have a lot of projects on the left side, which is the project structure or the project panel. So don't worry about that. In your case, it will display nothing. So you can create a new solution by two ways. First, you can go to the file and new solution, and the second option is new solution. Here's my cursor is moving, so I'm just clicking the new solution button, and then you have almost 4 to 5 or 7 options. We are just concerning with the Android application development, so I'm just select this Android app and hit next button. So next it will require app name, so I'm just naming it as Toast Tutorial. So here's your organization identifier. I just write developer, and then here's your complete package name of your Xamarin Studio application project, developer.toast tutorial. Second is target platforms, which is the minimum platform you want to target, which is API level 10 2.3. So after that, I'm just going from there to the next button. After that, it will display a new window about your configuration of your new project. First is your project name. You have to name your project. I have already named it Toast Tutorial. Then solution name. Then here is the location of your project, where your project will save. Then is create a project directory. Within the solution directory, you have check this option. So and then the remaining to leave it we will cover in the future video tutorials. Now next, you have hit create button. It will create our Xamarin Studio Android application project. As you can see on the background, it will display main activity and everything that the project of Android Xamarin Studio will require. As you can see on the left side, it contains a lot of directories, packages, assets, properties, panel, resources, and here is the main activity.cs class, which is you will call it as activity, because in professional language mostly people call it activity. So we will next we will cover the directories of our solution panel. Like as you can see, this is our Toast Tutorial complete package. So let's start with the reference directory. It will contain some libraries which you will need for your Android application project. So we will cover it later in our later tutorials. Next is packages. So what packages do you need in your application? It might be app compat library and other libraries you want to use within your application. The next is assets. Assets is not more assets directory is mostly used with the game development. So we are not using any sprites or we are not developing any game. So just skipping this assets directory. Next is properties directory. Properties directory will contain your Android manifest.xml file. This file will have two views, which is application view and the source view. As you can see, it's a source view. This Android manifest xml.xml file displaying, or you can add permissions like internet permission, contact permission, or any other permission you want to add within your application. You have to add that permission within that Android manifest.xml file. So when you will create a new activity within your application, you have to declare that activity within that Android manifest.xml file. So as you can see, we have minimum SDK variant that we have seen in our previous or first to second screen while creating a new project. So and let's talk about resources directory. Resources directory will contain multiple directories or subdirectories, which are called drawable layout map. These map are the icons or the IC launchers or the default icons that your app will show when you will install that Android application within the Android device. So let's talk about drawable. Drawable directory will contain your images, your XML design format. When you will custom design something within your application, then you can place that XML file within a drawable directory. So let's talk about layout. Main.axml file is your layout file. Mostly we called it a layout file. So a layout file, then it's a main.axml file. Then as I told you that map is our IC launcher or default icon directories. It will support different densities or different screen sizes like HDPI, MDPI, XHDPI, and two more. Then last directory is values directory. It will contain strings.xml. You can directly link or refer your strings within your application. As you can see, there are two strings we have used. We will talk about later in that how we can use strings.xml in our application. So within at last you can see main activity.cs class as displaying on your screen is displaying some button click functionality. So you can create your new classes which mostly called activity. Just right click, add new file. It will display whatever you want: forms, general, GTK, MISC, text templating, and so on. So we are just concerning with the Android platform. So just you can add activity, broadcast, receiver, fragment, layout, view, and etc. So it will display like main activity.cs. So let's talk about layout. That layout file have two views. Has two views like designer and source. Designer is a graphical user interface view. It's display something like properties on your or toolbox on the right side. As you can see, button, checkbox, and a lot of things. You can click on that to close these things. You can close also toolbox like this. You can drag and drop everything you want, just like a lot of things you can drag and drop, like email, images, etc. So when we will go on source, as you can see, it's an XML code through which you will design your GUI. You can either drag and drop your UI components, or you can code through XML code, or an XML source view format. So let's go with the Android SDK. You can see a lot of options on the top in the left corner. So you have to go with that tools options and Android SDK Manager. That SDK, okay, sorry about that little pop-up. That SDK will contain your API levels which you have downloaded for your Android application development. And you can also create Android virtual device manager for testing purposes. And as you can see, I have a lot of things that I've already installed within my Xamarin Studio IDE. So I'm just showing you that you can update or download API level from here, which is Android SDK Manager. So I'm just closing it because we are not downloading anything yet. So now we will learn, or you will learn, not I'm just teaching you people. So you will learn how to create a virtual device within your PC. So go to the tools, open Google Emulator Manager. It will display our devices which we have already created. I have some created devices, so I just, as you can see, 3 devices are created already. So how you can create new one or brand new, you can hit click the create button. You can name it like I'm just Android tutorial. So fill this up, device and target, then CPU, whatever you need, skin, and just make it no skin. And as you can see, it clicks OK. So one thing more, that while you're creating Android virtual device within your PC, don't when you're renaming it, so don't put space between the words or the name you're keeping for your Android virtual device. As you can see, it will disable the OK button. So I'm just removing that space. Sorry. As you can see, it is OK now. So I'm not clicking that OK because I have already created 3 Android virtual devices. So it will launch. Now how you can start that virtual device, just select that virtual device and hit start button. So you will see an Android virtual device within your PC where you can test your Android application. So the most important thing is keep on building your project, rebuild your project, clean your project, while you will see any errors within the application. So make this habit because it will be good enough, because mostly developers forgot to rebuild the project while they're updating anything within their project. So how you can generate the APK, you have 2 options, debug and release. When you will select debug mode, it will just generate unsigned APK which is not accepted by Google on the Google Play Store. When you will release the APK, it will generate a signed APK with which Google Play will accept to publish your application. So that's all for the whole environment of the Xamarin Studio. You can contact or I hope you can understand, or you will be able to understand what I'm telling you within this, what I told you in this video tutorial. So best of luck for this video tutorial. Good luck.